But this is what I mean by leftists canceling themselves, because conservatives are just starting to ignore them. This will be in the newsletter today. You got to read this article. It is, Guy read it 3 times. I read it twice. We still don't understand it. It's really that. So why are you putting it in the show? Because it's so confusing. You're going to be like, who canceled who? And it's all leftists. All. The title of the article is called What Really Happened at Reply All. It was a podcast which was applauded for its reporting on embedded racism in the workplace, yet it never made it to the 3rd episode. Don't try to figure this whole story out. So one of the people involved with the podcast is this woman, forgive me, her last name is Pinameni. If I'm saying her name wrong, it's not intentional. But here's the first screenshot from it. So Allison Roman's this cookbook author, and she used to work at the New York Times. She was facing criticism for one of her recipes, which is a turmeric-infused chickpea stew recipe. Apparently, she made the cardinal sin, Joe, of not acknowledging the influence of South Asian curry dishes. She was culturally appropriated. Don't try to figure it out. So this other woman, Miss Pinameneni, I'm not messing with your name. I'm Pinameneni. She came to the United States from India as a teenager. She was interested then in exploring curry as a lens into the complicated concept of appropriation in food. So Pinameni, I don't know, was she offended by this former New York Times woman use of turmeric in her chickpea stew? If you're trying to figure this out, don't. You will be in Michael Moore's stupid time. I'm just telling you, somebody was upset that someone culturally appropriated food, what you and I would call eating. That's not allowed on the left. You're only allowed to eat foods from your culture. And God forbid you cook them. You are definitely a racist. So I guess Pinameni had a problem with Allison and the podcast people because the cultural food appropriation. Well, then Pinameni gets canceled too, apparently. Here's the second screenshot from the piece. In a Twitter thread, a few days after the release of the 2nd episode of this podcast, another guy, Eric Eddings, a former colleague of the podcast creators, accused the project of hypocrisy. Miss Pinameneni and Mr. Vogt had contributed to a, quote, toxic dynamic at Gimlet Media, the podcast parent company themselves. Don't do it to yourself. Stop trying to figure this out. Why would I put it in there if I don't want you to figure it out? Because I just want to tell you that leftist cancel culture is so dumb and so cannibalistic, they can't even figure out who they're supposed to cancel. Do you cancel the curry person who cooked with curry because they're not Indian? Or do you cancel the person reporting on the curry cooking non-Indian and then cancel the company that hired the person reporting on the non-Indian curry cooking person? Nobody knows. They all get canceled because they're eating themselves alive. Just take your popcorn and just watch. Just watch. Because none of us in conservative America who are sane actually do any of this stupid. We just do this thing called eating. I enjoy cultural foods, and I don't have to ask leftists because I'm not a lunatic if I can eat rice and beans. Rice and beans, Dan. You're Italian. Yeah. My wife's Colombian. She likes rice and beans. And you know what happens when she makes it? I eat it too. You are definitely a xenophobe. I don't play your games. I give 0 hits with an S in front of it. What you think? It's leftists who play that. And they're all canceling each other. Just get your popcorn and watch.